Okay.
All right. Team building is an intentional process by which we move a group of people towards a destination by having a coherent vision, goals, and a process for tracking the lessons learned. Okay?
You know, I keep on listening to.
So today we're going to talk about the different parts that go into it. We're going to incorporate how you, as a leader, move your people towards the destination. We're going to look at building your team, leading your team, ethics and morals associated with being a leader, and then you're going to do a challenge vignette. All right.
What's that?
You'll see.
Oh, God.
Let's get into it.
Okay.
That's all my notes. All right. So first page you should be looking at is team leading procedures, 8 TLPs, 8 team leading procedures. Let's start talking about that first. I'm gonna double tap this. So I put all my notes. Okay, actually, nope. Not gonna start there. Let's start here. Team building. 3 things you need to have. For some reason, y'all don't have this. I didn't make this worksheet, so you're gonna have to write this down by hand. Number 1, vision. Okay, number 1, vision. So if I'm gonna build a team, I need to have vision. And sometimes my vision is provided for me, right? Somebody may say to me, whoever you're working for, your senior leader, your boss, hey, listen, this is what I need accomplished. You're responsible for taking, you and your team are responsible for increasing quarterly earnings by 50%. You and your team are responsible for starting a new outreach ministry in the community. You have zip code 30013. I need 50 new members from 30013. Now you might be like, that don't even make sense. But in a sense, it does kind of make sense, right? Like if you're in charge of the outreach evangelism team, I say to you, hey, listen, 30013 has 225,000 people in there. Of those 25,000 people, survey says 50% of them go to church. There's 13,000 unsaved people in the 30013 area code. You and your team are going to go into that zip code, and you're going to get me 50 new members out of that zip code. I have a vision of expanding into the 30013 zip code. Some of y'all are like, no, I don't like that. But why not? Why not? Right? We have a strategy for our ministry, right? I can't just come and preach on Sundays and hope that somebody sees me on Facebook or social media and then eventually comes to the church.
Right.
I got to be deliberate and intentional about what it is that I'm doing. So I have a vision as the pastor for expanding the influence of our church, right, and our ministry. So you, as my evangelism outreach minister, are going to get assigned a specific area so that your efforts aren't just go out and find some people to join the church. I'm going to direct you. This is where I want you to go. So my vision is expansion, but under the umbrella of my vision, now you have room for your own. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So vision, okay, vision answers the question of where you're going and why. Where and why. And as the leader, now you go back to your team, they're going to be like, we're going where? Why? Right? That's the first questions anybody asks.
Of course.
You come into the youth ministry. Hi, I'm Sister So-and-so. I'm the new youth ministry leader. Super excited to be with you all. We're going to do some great things together. Oh, okay. Well, welcome, Sister So-and-so. Actually, what we're going to start off with is this new curriculum for this year as we go forward. Why? Where are we going with that?
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
You got to have vision. I'm the new pastor, I take over the church. You're the new pastor, you take over the church. Hi, church, we're going to be going to 2 services. Why? When? Where? We starting a groundbreaking. Why? When? Where? With what money?
Right.
Right?
Right.
So vision articulates where and why. And as leaders, if you don't have a clear vision that is easy to define, easy to remember, don't give me 200 pages of your vision. Don't give me a 25-slide PowerPoint on your vision. Make it simple, easy to repeat, hopefully snappy, maybe an acronym, so that I can turn around and repeat it to myself, say it over and over again, share it with my friends. What do you do in your church? Ooh, girl, we grow. What does that mean? Oh, we going places, we running for Jesus, we outward focused, and we winners. I just made that up. We grow here. Right? So now, ooh, I want to grow too. Girl, come here and grow with me. I got a little grow card. Every time you come, I get a grow point. Look at my tree, we just growing. That's vision. When and where? Or where and why? So again, sometimes it's big picture, sometimes it's under the umbrella, but when you get in front of your team, you need to be articulate. You need to be able to articulate your vision for that team. Okay, so back to our first, the outreach. Hey, listen, we are the outreach team. It is our job to go out into the community and find it. Now, the 30013 area code has over 25,000 unsaved souls. Do you think God is pleased with us? That's right, He's not. He has given us a harvest. What is our scripture about harvest? What's everybody's scripture, harvest scripture?
It's plentiful.
Harvest is plentiful.
Laborers are few.
Laborers is few. But guess what? We the laborers, see? We the laborers. So where are we going? 30013. Why are we going? Because the harvest is plentiful.
Laborers are fruit.
We're about to go get them. Right? That's our vision. Did I tell him because Pastor told me to? No. Why? Why would I ever say that? Is that my vision or his?
That's yours.
That's your vision.
Right. If I tell them Pastor said so, now it's his vision.
Yep.
Right? But if I'm going to be the leader, it needs to be my vision.
Right.
I have to articulate that. And that's important because, right, after you got vision, you got to set goals. Got to set goals. And goals answers the question, how? How? So, okay, Pastor. Okay, sister. We going to 30013. How are we going to do it? Now, there's no right or wrong way for how we do it. Well, correction. There's always potentially a wrong way. I'm pretty sure Pastor don't want you going out there being like, hey, if you come to our church, we'll give you $50 when you come in the door. Right? That's probably not the right way. But then you're like, hey, Pastor, look, it got 30 new people came in today. That's not the right way. All right, but it determines the how. It gives me a left boundary and a right boundary. So listen, every Sunday afternoon for 2 hours, right after church, we're going to go out into 30013 and we're going to tell people about God. And they'll be like, well, what do I tell them about? What you just learned in church. Because what's like one of the hardest things for people to do when it comes to outreach? Know what to say, right?
Exactly.
So just, hi, we're from the church up around the street. I know you weren't there this morning, but I just really wanted to share with you what Pastor told us. It was so amazing. It got me so excited, I just had to share it with somebody. I'm Tommy. You got a minute? Probably. Next door. Right? Because I'm going to tell them that we're going to go knock on X amount of doors. It doesn't matter if they get slammed. That's inevitable. That's just happens. right? We're not out there. What does Jesus say if somebody doesn't, when you knock on the door, they don't want to let you in? Move on.
Keep going.
Brush the dust off your shoulder, right?
Yeah.
So now I get a chance to do what? Grow, right? Isn't that the point of this whole thing? As disciples, as Christians, that we grow, that we maneuver. What's the point of the fivefold ministry? Right? That we mature the body. So the first knock I get in the door slam, does that mean I'll fire from heaven down upon you?
Disrespectful.
Right? Exactly. That's the child reaction, right?
Yes.
No, you can't have that candy. I want candy. Temper tantrum, right? I call that fire from heaven on my parents if I could.
Right.
So we got to mature the believer. So how do we mature the believer if we don't take them out of their comfort zone? Right? Where the only time I ever share my faith is on what?
Sunday.
Monday when I'm at work by not cursing when everybody else is. Or when they ask me, what'd you do this weekend? I say, oh, I went to church. Oh, okay. Well, did you see such and such? Yep, I did. Let's talk about it. As opposed to church, right? Now we're intentional about growth and development. This is part of the pastor's bigger vision. See, you thought that your outreach was just so the pastor could grow, but the pastor was like, I need to develop my people, so I'm going to send them out to do outreach. And I'm going to put them in the 30013 area code. And because the harvest is plentiful, the laborers are few, now we're going to send our team out there, we're knocking on doors, and we're developing in our spirituality. So we're going to do it, goals. Goals are measurable. Specific and measurable. Specific and measurable. And so I'm going out here and I'm saying to them, we're going to do this for 2 hours. With the goal being of our 5-person team knocking on 200 doors. 200 doors in 2 hours. How many doors do we need to knock on per hour?
What?
If it's 200 doors in 2 hours, how many doors do we need to knock on per hour? And if it's 5 of us, how many doors do we y'all need to knock on?
25.
25.
25 doors. No.
Per hour.
20.
Y'all are so sick.
What, you said 5 of them?
It's 5 of us and it's 100 doors.
Oh, 20.
20.
Because we know somebody not going to do their work, so we got to find out.
Right, exactly. You're going to set a higher goal and then be happy if y'all do that. Y'all them leaders.
What time is it? It's so early.
Right. So you're knocking on 20 doors, right? It's 60 minutes. How many times does that give me per door?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm going to ask one more set of math. You're the leader. You got to know this.
Okay, say it again.
It's 60 minutes in an hour.
Okay.
And I got 20 doors to knock on. How many minutes do I have per door?
3.
3. Exactly. I got 3 minutes per door, right? To pitch Jesus. Can you pitch Jesus?
The elevator.
Right. You got an elevator speech, right? You gotta know what you're gonna say. You gotta expect to get in and get out. Girl, don't get caught up now. We ain't here to debate whether or not he's a Calvinist, an Arminianist, an atheist, or an Arabic.
Right. Can't get caught up shopping.
You better pray for him. Tell him we can finish shouting on Sunday
On
at church.
Sunday, hello.
Or Wednesday at Bible study. I will come pick you up, put it in your phone, let's put it on calendar.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
You gotta have a goal. You gotta think through these things. You're the leader. This is the conversation you're having before you ever go out there. So you're not saying to them, hey, we're gonna go out there and knock on doors Sunday afternoon for a couple hours. We say, hey, check it out. We're going out there. We're gonna knock on 200 doors Sunday afternoon in this neighborhood right here. That means we're gonna get 100 per hour, which means we in and out. So let's pray. Hi, all right. Yes, no, boom, slam door. Good. Now you just bought yourself 2 more minutes of the next house. You got 5. Keep moving. See what I'm saying? See how we just changed that?
Yeah.
So that's what we need to do. We need to have goals and have measurable. We need to know how we're going to do this. How are we going to get there? We're all going to carpool. So we're going to take 2 vehicles. All right? Half of us going to start on the east side, half of us going to start on the west side. Got a map? Put a map up there. Show the neighborhood where we're going. Right?
Yeah.
That way it's measurable. We're specific. We checking off houses as we go through the neighborhood content. Cool, check. 25, 30, boom, we moving. Oh, this is what the Jehovah's Witnesses be doing on Saturday morning too. Turn us into what it is.
And they don't quit. Man.
Okay, so we have to be willing to set goals that are measurable, that are specific, that give people some. You said 2 hours, be 2 hours. Don't be 2 hours and 30 minutes. Right? Because now you cut into my time. Am I coming back and you taking my 2.5 hours? I'm not. I got stuff to do with Sunday. Right? So I want to be specific about those kind of things. Same thing with the youth ministry. Why are we switching over to the new curriculum? Well, because I want to see this kind of growth. And this is how we're going to measure it. Every 3 months, we're going to have a Bible quiz. In fact, we're going to a more Bible quiz-oriented type thing. I want you to know the scripture. I want you to know the word. Well, I think they already know the word. This is how I know they don't word. See, this pre-test, I gave it to all of them. They all failed.
Right.
This is what I did. When I took over the ministry at the youth ministry up in Solid Rock, first thing I did, lady had been in charge for like 10 years. Oh, everybody loved her. She was artisty. Very much into the drama and the arts. They do these huge productions. I didn't think they knew anything about the Word of God, though. Basic. I gave them a little basic 10 questions. Stuff like, who are the first people in the Bible? Who's the only woman in the Bible? Or name what, like 3 women in the Bible? Name 3 men in the Bible. Name the oldest man in the Bible. Just, these are teenagers, been in church all their life. Basic Bible stuff. No, none of them got more than 3 right. One girl's name is Deborah. She's literally named after the Bible. She did not know that enough to write down her name. Her own name. You've been in church all your life. You know what that tells me? You don't know the Bible. We need to go to the basics. We need to go back to the Bible. So if I bring that in and I say, hey, this is why I want to do this, and this is how I'm going to measure. So every 3 months we're going to have this. We're going to do these kind of things. This is where we're moving to. That's the essence to how. Am I going to be happy about it if I've been doing it the same way the whole time? Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe I've identified that there's a problem, but the status quo was just so much that I'm just like, I'm not going to fight against it. I'm going to keep going. See, we anticipate them being resistant, but they might not necessarily be resistant. So we got to do that. So we got to have goals. We got to be able to measure them. And then, afterwards, number 3, there's only 3 parts to this. 3 parts to team building. 1, you want to have a vision, clear, articulate. 2, you want to be measurable. And 3, you want to do your AAR.
The what?
After action review. Now you do have a handout for this. Alright, so find your handout for the after action review. Alright, and my AAR, which is what that's short for.
I don't.
If you don't, I got some extra copies up here.
And ethics.
Here you go. 4 questions on your after action review. Many of us have done these in some kind of professional setting, potentially. If not, though, add it to your repertoire. People will think that you're just amazing. That, oh my gosh, you're the absolute best leader ever. I never would have done one of these. And you'd be like, yep, that's why I'm the best. That's why I'm the leader. If you can build this in as just a natural part of what you do with your teams, in your own personal lives, I do it like literally at the end of every night before I go to bed. Ask first, what was I supposed to do today? Let's go back to our example. What were we supposed to do today? We were supposed to go out, 30013 area code, knock on 200 doors in 2 hours. That's what we're supposed to do today. Okay. That's it. Done. Write it down. You say it. You think about it. All right, number 2. What did we do? We went to 30013 area code. We knocked on 150 doors. Okay. That's it. There's not time at that point, and you have to resist this temptation, because what will happen is, well, see, what had happened was, you immediately begin to make excuses. That's not what the question says. Right? The AAR is very specific. It's very question-oriented. It's just so, hey, what happened? What was supposed to happen? Don't be like, well, you know, it was supposed to be a perfectly beautiful day, and the breeze was supposed to be blowing, and, you know, we was all supposed to get there in our 2 cars, and, you know, well, what did happen? Well, it was raining, and I didn't bring my rain boots, and, you know, you can't be in heels trying to talk to people now. No, what were we supposed to do? What did we do? And then number 3, what can we sustain about what we did? What did we like about it? What was good about it? What do we want to do again from it? Take the emotions out of it. Well, I mean, little Susie didn't she didn't walk so fast up the stairs. No, we're not here to throw shade. We're not here to throw names. We're being objective about what we can keep going from what we did. And what we usually say is we say 3 sustains and 3 improves. 3 sustains and 3 improves. Now, if you have some kind of command system, set up, some kind of rank structure or something like that, always ask that question to the lowest ranking person. If you don't have a ranking system, always ask it to the newest person first. Because if you ask it to the highest ranking person first, or the person who's a veteran, everybody else is going to say what they say. They're not going to deviate. Whoever is your non-strongest person in the group, ask them their opinion first. One, it shows that their opinion matters to the team, that every opinion matters to the team. And 2, they'll have a perspective that everybody else didn't have. Because the person who's the naturally dominant one is probably what? Charismatic. Right? Probably got an alpha kind of personality. Probably like used to being the one in charge. So they probably went and knocked on the door and had a great time.
Right.
They just lined them up.
Right.
Bow, bow, bow. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. This is a great thing. Let's do. But the person who was brand new, they was like, I ain't know no scriptures. I ain't had no material. My car ain't had no AC when I drove over there. It was hot. I was thirsty. Everybody slammed the door in my face. That's a totally different experience, right? And if the first person tells his experience first, then you come to him, well, how was your experience? I mean, it was fine, you know. Praise the Lord. Just glad to be in the house serving Jesus.
Yeah.
Right. And that we've all been on both sides. Potentially you've been on both sides of that. So you want to make sure that you ask, like I said, those first. So what can we sustain? What did we like about what we did? So we showed up on time. We was in and out. Right? We knocked on doors. We want to keep knocking on doors. Okay? Good. What can we improve about it? All right, so we intended on knocking on 200 doors. We knocked on 150. What can we improve about what we did? Well, we can knock on those other 50 doors. Well, how do we do that? Well, that might mean that we got to talk, a little bit less. Or maybe we change the amount of doors we try to knock on. Right? 150 doors was pretty good. That was actually like the very most. We need 5 minutes per door. 3 minutes just isn't enough. Some of us got a shouting party going. Sister Yolanda, whether they come to church or not, she's going to get a shouting party going. Right? She got little kids. I think she counseled like 3 people the whole time. Getting credits or something. So we want to articulate how we can improve upon that. All right, so that's the AAR. So if you will set vision for your team, if you will clearly articulate your goals, and you will include the AAR process in all that you do every single time, you will build this team that is invested in what you're trying to do. You will build a team that believes in what you're trying to do. You will build a team that wants to go where you're trying to lead them. Why? They have something to believe in. They have a way of measuring their success. One of the hardest things about working out is people don't set reasonable goals when they start that they're going to change their lifestyle through working out. Right?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to lose some weight. Okay. Hey, I'm gonna lose 20 pounds in 30 days.
Right.
I don't really think so, but I mean, if that's how you feel. And then what happens? First day you go out there. Yo, back in college, I used to run. I'm about to go back to running again.
Yep.
And then I took about 4 steps. My lungs started hurting. You know what? I'm good. That's good. Next morning you woke up. Oh, that pain. I'm gonna wait till that pain goes away before I start doing it again. I don't want to hurt nothing. Right? This is people. All the hard people. They always pulling the muscle and stuff. I can't be pulling the muscle. Right? They got no goals. They got no measurable way of sustaining the motivation that comes from a little bit of success. So if I say in advance, hey, I'm gonna lose 20 pounds this year. So then I break that down to just under 2 pounds a month, right? 1.5 pounds a month is gonna be my goal. And I'm gonna also work towards becoming more active. So before I say I'm just gonna start running, I'm gonna start walking. First week I'm gonna try to walk, 20 minutes a day. And then second week I'm gonna start. And then each day, so now I got a vision, right? What's my vision though? I wanna be better, healthier and lighter, right? And then how do I set these goals? So first week 20 minutes, first month 20 minutes a day, right? Or 3 days a week, 20 minutes a day for the first month. And then try to raise that up, either longer or more days. And then go from there. And as I see, and 1.5 pounds per month. That's what I'm looking to lose. And so as I begin to go from there, every day I'm asking myself, well, what is I supposed to do? Today I was supposed to walk. Well, did I walk? No, I didn't. Well, why didn't I walk? Like, what can I improve about that the next day so I can make sure I walk when I'm supposed to? Or at the end of the week, what was I supposed to do? I was supposed to walk 3 days. How many days did I actually walk? I walked 3 days. How do I sustain that? By doing what I did. Going to sleep earlier. Saying no to like watching TV. Eating more healthy foods, which gave me more energy. Right? How can I improve upon that? Well, I'm going to maintain what I did before. Does that make sense? So like now I'm giving feedback, which is increasing my motivation so that I keep going because I have sustainable, measurable goals. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And so you can do that with losing weight or with changing your lifestyle. You can do that with moving a bunch of individuals into a team. And if you saw your weight coming off the way you wanted to, when you keep doing it.
Of course.
Right, exactly. It's because we don't see the changes that we want right away that we give up. But if we knew that it was actually working, because it's not that you don't see the change, it's just you never take time to actually look for the change.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so in order for me to keep a team going, I can't just be like, all right guys, hey, we did those 200 doors today, good job. Ooh, I'll see y'all next week. You won't see them next week. They have no clue whether or not that was whether there was anything good that came out of that. Right? You want to highlight the fact next week, hey look, we had 10 extra people who we knocked on their doors show up at Bible study on Wednesday. You did that. How's that feel? Look, the church is growing. Pastor asked us, the outreach team, to go out there. Jesus asked us, the outreach team, to go out there. And we did it. We went. What? I'm bringing a friend with me next Sunday. I'm knocking on everybody's door. When my right hand gets down, I'm switching to my left hand. My left hand is down, I'm switching to my head. Come to church with me. I'm excited. You know your neighbor up the street came to church with me on Sunday, and that neighbor down there came to church. We all looking at you wondering when you come. Mm-hmm. Well, he went and she went. Well, sure, I might just check it out. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Because you gave them something. This is the same thing with the youth ministry example. You begin to show your kids are getting more, the parents will buy you. Little Susie told me that Moses wrote Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and how you say that? Is that Deuteronomy? I think she said it's called the Pentateuch. Actually, it's the Pentateuch, and yes, little Susie's one of our best students. But you're teaching her. This like the last lady wasn't like that at all. Mm-hmm. Well, this is what we're teaching. This is where we're going with this. Would you like to come and be a part of it? Well, maybe. You know what I'm saying? So we got to articulate those kind of things that we do this measure. Okay, so that's team building. Woo! Got it. Getting back on time now, man. All right. What's next? Team building, build a team. Team leading procedures. 25 minutes. Here we go. 8 team leading procedures. Okay. 8 team leading procedures. Number 1, receive the mission. Receive the mission. Pastor says to you, brings the leadership team in, leadership's weekly meeting, monthly meeting, or whatever like that, leadership team. Okay, so understand that the whole point of us, again, just reminding you, ordination, ordained ministers are what we want to have in charge of the ministries of the Fellowship of Jesus Christ. Okay, so when you get this ordination piece completed, like, you know, y'all don't quit on me, or, you know, just like completely forget everything you ever learned at orals. Like break into a sobbing mass of hysteria, crying and weeping on the floor, curling up, sucking on your thumb and your toes.
Like I did when I was in Texas calling in. I was like, I'm done.
Exactly.
I'm done.
Calling me up.
That was me.
As long as that doesn't happen, right? The Lord is with you all managed to make it and you're ordained, right? We want to put you all in leadership positions so that we are getting ordained ministers in charge of what we do. So Pastor, with his new full squad house of ordained ministers here at the Fellowship of Jesus Christ, sits down with the leadership team and he's like, hey, this is where we're going, this is our vision. Here's Sister Shayla, this is your part here. Sister Taylor, this is your part here. Dr. Cook, this is your part. We're going to go ahead and get these team leading procedures in place. So number 1 is going to be receive the mission. Here, Pastor give you your mission. He's going to ask you, he's going to make sure, and the question you really need to know is, do you understand Do you understand you and your team's role in the larger vision? Do you understand you and your team's role in the larger vision? That was like a terrible pie. This is McMurtry, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lloyd.
I was debating on what color to use. Right? Alright, so this is the pie, right? The pie represents the fellowship. Do you know where your part is in the pie? Do you understand your part of the mission? Do you understand how what you is that you do matters and contributes to the whole? Right? Do you see it? Now here's the thing about it though. Here's the thing that we all have to be extremely careful about as leaders. So Shayla's got her piece of the pie, right? And that's cool when we all sitting here talking about, oh yeah, well you know when I do this that makes the ministry grow, when you do that that makes the ministry grow and everything like that. But what about when I need that budget? And you need that budget. And the budget is limited to this pie.
Oh, shook it down.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now you mad. You don't get the music team can't get a new speaker. The Minister Justice taking it to the outreach team to get some new flyers.
Right.
You mad because the outreach team uses up the flyer money and you can't get no new curriculum, or you try to get curriculum so I can't get as many flyers.
Oh.
Now, Pastor, I asked for 500. Well, you got 200. Better make them count. I mean, you want me to do the whole 30013. There's 25,000 pastors out there. Right. Hey, you better break them flyers. Okay. And the 2 fish, pray over it like 5 loaves, and make it multiply.
That makes sense, okay.
So that's just one of the things that you have to know. But you have to be clear, articulated and clear. Do I understand my team's role and my role in the larger vision? Okay. Verse number 2, issue a warning order. The pastor sits down. He says, hey, listen up, team. This is where we're going this year. This is the vision. This is the point of emphasis. This is the focus. This is what I want to do. That's the mission, right? So then you're going to turn around to your team and you're going to say, hey, check it out. We just got our initial brief from Pastor. All right? In the next few days, we'll be setting up the plan for articulating what the next 12 months is going to look like. I just want to give y'all a heads up. Here's some things that are coming. All right? When you do that, you have to be aware of the 25-50-25 rule. 25-50-25 rule. Alright? And these, right? 25-50-25 says that you're going to have 25% of your team who immediately is going to be like, yo, let's do it. I'm with it. Let's ride. No matter. You're going to say, we jumping off a bridge. I'd ask for the parachute once I was in the air. You leave, I'm with you. No hesitant. Your early adopters, they in your ear right now. I'm trying to figure out, what did Pastor say? All right, you want me to start doing what right now? Hey, I got that flyer already templated up. Hey, how soon you need me? You need me to make phone calls? Hey, let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's go. Hey, you don't look like you're moving fast enough. You need a push? All right, that's your 25%. Now, that sounds great, right? 25% is a huge number, unless you got a team of 4.
Unless you got a team of what?
4.
Oh.
And then 25% is how many people?
1.
1. Now, one person who's like, hey, let's get it. Let's go right now.
Right.
All right? So just be aware of that. I mean, you could have a team of 400, and then that's what? 100. Right? But say y'all have to do the math for yourself.
I'm starting to wake up.
You have 100. And they all like, hey, let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. But in the event that you have 400, there's still how many people left unaccounted for? 300. Right? And those 300, 50% fall into your wait and see category. Let's see how this is going to go. Let's see how this is going to go. And that 50% is what you need to win. That 50% is waiting for your first meeting when you bring the crew in and you articulate your vision and your goals. And if you can't answer clearly and concisely why, how, and when, you're going to do whatever it is that you want to do, whatever your part of the mission in, the pastors associated or given to you, you're going to lose. Right then. They're not going to be in it. If you're not invested, if you show up and be like, all right, guys, sorry I'm running late, you know. I mean, yeah, it is what it is. But I'm here, and, you know, this year, hey, it is what that look. Y'all know, we here to serve God.
Wow.
I mean, hey, so let's, we got this 30013 zip code. I mean, I don't know much about it, and, I mean, you know, but I know there's some unsaved people in there, and, you know, Pastor said we need to go out there and minister to them. So, I'm thinking like once a month, you know, we'll probably like get out there, and when it warms up, we'll like do a barbecue. Right? Barbecue's pretty good, right? Right?
I have to give him my church bank. I gotta step up.
Right, exactly. Your whole group gonna lose. Okay? And I know that sounds terrible, but that's how people do things. If you're not invested, if you don't have a clear vision, if you don't see where you fit, and that's why number one is important. Receive the mission. You gotta know where you fit. And once you receive it, you gotta get that inside and you gotta articulate. When the Lord gave me this idea for this program, for the ordination program, I called up my mother. I had just wrote the whole thing out. Like, it just got wrote out. 12 sessions, 12 classes, whole thing, book, everything. I was like, oh! Called mom up on the phone, and I was like, you know, y'all know how it was. We was just doing, what was this? What was this before we started into the ordination class?
Leadership.
We were just doing leadership class. It's just like leadership preaching class or whatever, preaching and teaching. And this is like 2 days before class starts for January for the new year. And I call her like, our ordination program. And I'm like, I got it all up. It's so my fault. I'm still using the notes from when I originally texted. I changed no notes. I added no new classes. Everything from the first time I originally wrote it all. Just right there. Just do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. I'm like, hey, go. I'm sending this to you right now, the text message. That was my mission. I received my mission. I seen my mission. The Lord, every time I sit down and do this, I received my mission. I invested in my mission. I injected my mission into my veins. This liquid ordination program. And it's not like I'm just Bible all the time. Because this is Bible, right? Leadership is Bible, right. But it's also practical. So where did I learn this stuff? This is all the other stuff that I'm learning and developing and growing. Right? So that all of it still gives me the ability to give to you. So the same thing. What's your part of the mission? Once you know that, there's got to be everything. Everything's towards my youth mission. Everything's towards my evangelism. Everything's towards my outreach. Everything's towards my teaching, my training, my developing. Right? Like ask me about it, somehow it's coming out. Somehow it's... And then what are my people getting? They're getting that right from me. Right from the source. Right from the... It's always... Yeah. Here it is. He's talking again. And now we lit. Now we get it. Now we walking around talking, bruh, man, if you went on the evangelism team, bruh, you know where we going this afternoon?
That's real.
People walking out the church, hey, you got some mortgage shoes? Hey, why don't you come get in this van? Come on, let's go. Let's go get some people. Let's go get some people. That's what you want, right?
Yes, yes.
When you're 25%, they're ready to do that off rip. But when you turn your 50%, the rule of marketing is 40%. 40% for market share. They call that at the threshold. Once you get 40%, you begin to have enough market share to be sustainable. And you can get 40% of your team. So that's not another 50, there's not 40 other 50, that's 40% total. So when you get 15% of this 50, here in agreements, buying in, now the movement will begin to shift and become self-sustaining. So this is when your team goes from being like, all right, cool, I don't really know how this is going to go, but I'm excited because he's excited, to yo, yeah, you know what, I'm bringing a friend. And then all of a sudden, you went from having 2 cars that was going to be doing carpool afterwards to needing 4 cars because you got an extra 10 volunteers who just showed up.
Right.
You didn't know these 10 volunteers were showing because your boy just brought them at the last minute, but he was so excited. He just snagged like 5 people.
Right.
Right? And the other person snagged like 5 people. So now your AER is like, what were we supposed to do? Knock on 200 doors. What did we do? We knocked on 300 doors. Wait a second. But I still need an AER, even though it was good, even though it was better, because next week I need to make sure I have enough vehicles. I need to make sure I have enough people. I need to make sure I have enough water. Right? I need to identify. I need to make sure, if we did 300, then maybe now we need to make a bigger goal.
Right.
Or do we need to make more? Like, was that a good 300? Like, how that, you see what I'm saying? So I still need to have the AAR process in there. It's still a part of it. Alright? I'm going to teach you that. So 25, 50, 25, sorry, back here. So I need 40% to get it becoming self-sustaining. But this is your crew. 25%, they're with it off rip. 50%, you got to persuade them. They wait to see. But once they see it and they buy into it, they all in. Then you got to find them 25%. Don't even stress them. Just don't stress them.
Who are they?
They're the last. They're going to come when there ain't no other choice. They're going to do it. And they'll still do it energetically. They'll still do it enthusiastically. But if it starts to go sideways, they're the first ones out. So when you jump out of a plane, right? They're like, no, not right.
When you jump out of the plane.
When I used to jump out the plane, you jump out the plane, they tell you count to 4. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. If at 4,000 you don't feel the opening shock as your canopy expands, hands already on the zip ripcord for your emergency chute. You're supposed to pull that at 5,000. Drop chute, shake, shake, shake. Throw that thing out and then hope it catch enough air to catch you from falling. You don't have enough time as you're falling from the ground to count to 5,000, 6,000, 7,000. Man, I really wish this chute would open. I guess it's not going to open. I should probably pull my reserves. At that point, you're going to hit the ground before it can fully. So it's 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, no, 5,000, reserve. Okay? So you have to do that. That's the rule of it. So the same thing here. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, I'm out. When they knocked on doors, it was hot. Ooh. Next time you like, hey, who's gonna go knock on doors with me? I'm back. See what happened was, I was playing with the kid in the backyard. I think pull something. Let's catch up with you next time. And this is why when you do your AER, you have to go to those people first for their kind of feedback just a little bit, because otherwise they won't feel invested. Everybody else had a great time because everybody else jumped on the train and was invested in it, but they didn't have a great time because they were what? Relaxed. And our point isn't just to develop people who want to be strong Christians, it's to develop the entire body. Right? Because one body, many members suggests that if my toe's not working properly, the whole body should hurt. So my last doesn't want to come alongside. The whole idea of we're not as strong as our weakest link. Okay? So we have to do that. We have to go ahead. So even we got early adopters, got our waiting seeds, we got our last, but even the last has to be brought alongside. Okay? So receive the issue and they issue the warning order, but expect it to be like that. Some people, as soon as you say, hey, look, I got some things coming, we're going to do some new changes, we're going to the new year, they're going to be like, let's go. And some are going to be like, all right, let's see how that goes. And the others are going to be like, here we go.
Yep.
Okay. Any questions about those two? We still good? All right, number 3, start initial movement. So again, as soon as you get off the phone, as soon as you come out the meeting from pastor, there's that early adopter sitting out there in the hallway. Woo, how'd that go? Got the pen, paper? All right, Dr. Cook, what you need me to do? Start initial movement, right? That means the initial things that you need to do. Okay? Those things include resources. Name some resources, saints. What are some resources? Whew, there you go. Money. What else? Time. Yes. What else?
Transportation.
Transportation.
Childcare.
What else? Volunteers.
Child care.
Right? All those things. Start thinking about that. You're leaders. You got to be thinking about those things. All right? So start initial movement. What are your resources? What are the things that you have available? But then, not only that, this is what you're talking to your early adopters about. All right, so check it out. This is what I'm thinking offhand. This is what we're going to need resources. But in order for us to do this, expect there to be a thought shift. Will last year's successes equal this year's successes? Will last year's success equal this year's success? I'm asking. This is a question.
Oh, right now?
Yes. Will last year's success equal this year's success?
No.
No. Right? No one gets the trophy for 2020 because they run the trophy in 2019.
Right.
You might repeat, but there's no guarantee, right? So you have to have a thought shift that causes you to realize, right, your team to realize, hey, we're not resting on our laurels. Just because we did this last year doesn't mean we're going to do it again this year. How can we do this better? How can we improve? How can we sustain, right? Every time, how can we improve? How can we sustain? How can we get better? The harvest is plentiful. Look, y'all, over the last 2 years, 30013, we've brought in 300 people into the church of the 10,000 that was unsaved out here. Congratulations. But there's 30014, there's 30012, there's 30016, there's 30054, there's 30045. Right. Oh yeah, the harvest is big. But guess what? We got more laborers because we brought up from 30013, and now we're going to go ahead and start spreading those out. And in fact, hey, you've been doing such a great job by yourself leading, but I'm about to put you in charge of 20 people. I'm about to put you in charge of 20 people, and I'm about to put you in charge of 20 people, right? So that I can multiply my effort. You think that's a different thought shift? You think as a leader that's a different thought shift? Because now you was on the ground with your 5, knocking on doors trying to get 200, and now you got 5 teams of 20 knocking on 2,000 doors. Is that different thought shift?
Yeah.
They're going to take you looking at things differently. So when you start that initial movement, you need to identify resources and the changes in your thought shift that's going to be important. Everybody still good?
Yeah.
Let's go to number 4. Make a tentative plan. Make a tentative plan. As a leader, you should always be thinking about how you're going to do stuff. It's like I'm in 2 places at all times. I'm receiving the data that's coming in, and I'm processing it and thinking about how I can begin to immediately input it. So my initial movement is just that first plan. It's not a perfect plan. It's just that first plan. It's just that first plan, that core that you can let your team know, okay, so this is some things that I'm thinking. What y'all think about that? This is that first plan that comes to your mind. What's that first thing that the Spirit's thinking to you? Before all the resources, before everything comes in and says, no, you can't do that. What was the first thing that came to mind? What was your first vision of what the youth ministry would look like? What was your first vision of what the outreach team would look like? What was your first vision about how you was going to do this? Pastor said, hey, this is you. Ooh, I've actually always wanted to do. And then what happens a few minutes later? Well, you know, we've always done it like this here at this church. Oh, yeah, I guess we should do it like that. No, what was that first thing? What was that first thing? That first thing is the reason you're here right now. Make a tentative plan. But it's tentative because we're not perfect yet. We don't know the landscape. We got to do reconnaissance. Alright? And reconnaissance is when you get insight from help, peers, and mentors. Insight from help, peers, and mentors. Now let's be clear about this. We look for insight. Be careful who you get your insight from. Because like I said, some people, they'll kill your plan in a heartbeat. Oh no, we can't do it like that. We never done that before. That ain't never going to work. I remember when somebody tried something new once upon a time before, and you know what? It didn't work. So guess what that means for you? It ain't going to work.
Right.
I don't know if y'all seen the movie Cruise with your kids. The guy says, the father's always like, be afraid of everything. Be afraid.
Never not be afraid.
Right, never not be afraid. And then when it's story time, the stories always end the same. They weren't afraid and they died. They tried something new and they died. They stayed out in the cave too long and they died. And that's the only way the stories end. That's terrible. That's not somebody you want insight from. If it's somebody who never tried nothing new, they never done nothing new, they never been nowhere new, They vacation in the same place every year, the same time, doing the same thing. They eat the same food every day at the same time, doing the same thing. And I'm not saying there's nothing comfortable. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being comfortable. But there's something wrong when you just like, you know, I'm good, I don't want to try that. Because then the people who are going to be like, ooh, no, that probably ain't working. Okay? So we want to have insight. We want to have insight for people who can help us. We want to have insight for people who are our peers. But not just peers age-wise, right? People who are doing similar things in ministry. Not just people necessarily in the church. Reach outside of that and find people who are doing something that's similar to what you're doing, but in a different place. What do you do over here that's different? When I was getting ready to take over Warner Robins as station commander, I went around to different stations and I said, hey, how do you do what you do? I wanted to see what you're doing. I wanted to know, I want to learn. I talked to a bunch of different people. Ooh, give me your insight, give me your thought process. I'm not necessarily going to do it their way, but I just want to get some more insight. From mentors, I reached out to people who were better than me, who were doing better. Who are the people who are doing it? Ask. People want to give back to people who want to do the things that they're doing, because they know that's how you replicate success. Alright, so do your reconnaissance. Then, complete your plan. Simple as it sounds. Complete the plan. Write it up, make it clear, measurable, with goals, 90-day plan, 30-day plan, calendar, 12 months. This is where we're going to be, this is where we're going to be being. This is what I expect to be seeing. This is not happening, this is what we're going to do to adjust that. This is what we're going to accomplish in the time period that we have available to us. This is what I know we can do. Complete that plan. Write it out. Then once you complete that plan, turn around, give yourself that plan on a presentation, and then tear it apart. It ain't good enough. Your first plan is not good enough. Your first plan, you just call it your draft. Take a red pen, read it out loud, listen to the way it sounds. Make yourself the 25% group. Sit there and get real skeptical. That ain't gonna work. Make all the ugly faces that people gonna make at you when you're trying to give your plan. You're going to come up there with your slides. You're going to put your slides on the paper. You're going to hear people start laughing. What y'all laughing about already? What's funny? Nothing. Go ahead. You're going to start putting your stuff up there? They be like, why? Let's go ahead and prepare yourself for it now. That's part of the complete plan process. Expect them to be like the worst audience ever. Passing gas, burping, eating, whatever the food you hate the most, they're going to bring that in there and just open up a brand new fresh wok chitlins. Here it comes. Corned beef.
Corned beef is delicious.
They'll come, they'll be rattling papers around, they'll be loud, their kids gonna be around. Don't get shook. It's your plan. This is your moment. You gotta be prepared. You wanna complete that plan. You wanna sit there, you wanna think about it, you wanna look at it from every angle, you wanna tear it apart, you wanna look at it again. You wanna take it, turn it this way, just look right. Turn it sideways, look at it upside down, come around, look at it backwards, does that make sense? It won't be perfect. Let me tell you right now, no plan survives first contact. 200, y'all. 200. Here we go. 200. Actually, sir, we're going to allow soliciting in this neighborhood. I'm sorry, you're not going to be able to be here today. Oh, shoot. What we do? Everybody looking at you. When now, boss? When now, boss?
I ain't going to jail, I don't think, so I'm gonna have to move and go to another
You got
side.
2 hours there. You got 2 hours.
Why can't we go up to the other side?
Right, exactly. You got to have a plan.
Oh,
What are you talking
okay.
about? Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. It's not easy. Turn around. What if it doesn't work? What's your plan B?
Gotcha.
Right? In the Army, we do 4 plans. Primary, alternate, contingency, emergency. Call it a PACE plan. It's annoying. I'm glad I'm not a commander. I don't have to write it all. Now I got to be a station commander, so I do got to write it all. It's really
Okay, primary, alternate.
contingency and emergency. What happens if the vehicle's breaking route? What happens if such and such forgets the water? What happens if such and such falls out? Y'all know how them old ladies be. Old men think they still got what they don't have no more.
Come on.
Walked up the stairs, fell down. Who's to take care of that? What's the emergency transport to the hospital plan? Think about that. You got shade? What's the temperature supposed to be? What's the weather supposed to be? Right? Because when you're talking to your peers, when you're doing that reconnaissance, when you're talking to those, what are you going to get from them? Stories of what? All the crazy things that happen to them.
Or that they've heard about.
Yeah. One of the questions that I asked you when I was getting ready to go start Iron Murphy book, what's the question that threw you the most? Why? I want to know the good thing. I mean, you already got it. That's why I'm calling you. I'm trying to find out the thing that threw you the most so I can be prepared for that.
Right.
Right? I ask them all the time. How do you manage your station? What do you do with your wife? Let me tell you what I do with my wife. How to make that work. Thank you. That's important. Right? Because I ain't been a station commander, but I know the grind that comes with it. I see everybody else. Y'all got wives though still, so you must have had some solution. I need to know what you do. Right? That makes sense.
Right.
Same thing. So tell me about when you did your outreach ministry. Woo! First time I went out there, I had 2 heat strokes, no papers. Like, and I mean, I'm pretty sure a dog got let loose on one of my people. Think about a dog.
It sure do happen.
Right? You know those things. I can prepare my people. Hey, we're going to come here, we're going to start on the east side, we're going to go to the west side. Then you actually show up on site, do your reconnaissance, and you realize, no, we can't go over the east side and go to the west side. We need to go over to the north side and work to the south side. So I'm doing all that. I'm taking all that insight, all that stuff like that, and tweaking the plan so that I can go to number 7 when I issue the plan. I issue the plan. Let me tell you, this slide thing, no. I mean, you can do a slideshow, don't get me wrong. But remember that a lot of people do slideshows. So people get used to that. You know what they get used to doing? Tuning them out. Presentation is key. Let me give you 3 keys. 3 C's to presentation. 3 C's of P. 3 C's presentation. I don't know where this stuff be coming from, but Lord, sitting there this morning when this came to me. Number 1, you want to be confident. Let's write it in some different colors. Contrast, keep you all awake. Visual learners, keeping you invested. I want to be confident. I want to have confidence with my presentation. Again, don't get up there and tell me we're going to go out there and do some things, and hopefully it works. Inspire me. Maybe you're not inspirational, right? Maybe it's not you. It's just, you know, it's just not me. So, there's a lot of other people who are. You know how easy it is to type in Google inspirational quotes? To ask Siri for some inspirational quotes? You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't even have to invent the wheel. Not reinvent it, you don't have to invent it, you don't have to reinvent it, none of that. It's there. Just text somebody, ask somebody, what's the most inspirational quote you use? Type in Google, inspiration, just inspiration. You get movies, you get videos, you get quotes. Just open up one of those. Greatness is found within. You know what I'm saying? You just walk up to the podium. All right, guys, hey, good morning. Let's pray. Amen. Greatness is found within. Oh, this ain't no normal presentation right here. I'm immediately like, what?
Right.
I'm intrigued. I'm confident. You think that's the first time I've done that? Heck no. I've practiced that like 5 times so I can say it with a straight face, right? Right? Presentation is key. You get one time to inspire your group, to inspire your team. You set the tone for the next 12 months. You have a mission you've been assigned to by your pastor who's representative of God. This is your moment, your calling, your destiny. You're the leader. This is your team's opportunity to grow and become better Christians so that they can lead their teams down the line. Because you see a vision of 25 teams of 2,500 going to 25 zip codes on a Sunday afternoon for 2 hours, knocking on 30,000 doors. Oh, y'all ain't seen that vision? Yeah, step up and be like, greatness is right? Number 2. Right in order. Gotta be clear. Gotta have clarity. So there you are. Greatness is within you. I'm going to give you 96 steps to get there. Go ahead and start writing them down. Go away.
Good Lord.
Right?
Yeah.
No, not going to happen. Not going to happen. Not going to happen, man. You got 96 steps. I was inspired and I felt just as fast. Just as fast. And I'm not even pulling the reserve. I want to hit the ground as fast as I can so that I can not hear these 96 steps. Now, be clear. Be clear. You want to be clear. You want to get that to them real soon. You want to make sure that they know immediately. Hey, listen. The Bible says that the harvest is plentiful and the laborers are few. But I believe we have the ability to go get them laborers more. Let's get it. Right? Let's make it happen. Now I'm with it. This greatness is in you. And we're going to go harvest that harvest. We're going to harvest that harvest. I'm going to be clear. I don't need no 2,000 steps. The next 10 minutes of your time, next half an hour of your time, all we're going to talk about is how we're going to knock this down. And so, number 3, we want to be concise. Don't hold your people hostage. Don't tell them we're going to do this a 5-minute meeting and it's 15. Don't tell them we're going to do a 15-minute meeting and it's an hour 50. I'm going to be mad. Ain't nothing concise about that. Get to the point. Move it along. Move that conversation along. Don't get caught up in sidebars. Don't get up on your soapbox. You're supposed to get all up on your soapbox while you were completing the plan. When you was practicing. Problem with many people, why we go off on these tangents, why we get caught up on our soapboxes, because this is the first time we just said it. So, this is the first time I had that thought that I might end up on that soapbox. And so, shoot, I got that thought, I got to say it. It must be important, but it's not important. And if you'd have practiced it, you would have hit that snag, you'd have hit that soapbox moment, you'd have got up on that soapbox, and then you'd have been like, you know what? I mean, this is important to me, but it's probably not important for this presentation. And then the next time when you came, you would have seen that snag, and you'd have stepped right on over it and kept on going. Right? So if I would be a presenter of my plan, I'm going to issue my plan to my team in a motivational, inspirational type of way so that we can go forth and do great things, I got to be confident, I got to be clear, I got to be concise. And then finally, supervise and refine. Number 8, supervise and refine. Why supervise and refine? Why refine? Number 1, you can never, ever, 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 ever say go do it and not be there to see it done. Right? We like the phrase trust but verify. Heard this before? Hopefully. Trust but verify. I know you're ready. I know you're trained. I know you're where you need to be. But I'm right there with you. You heard the saying, you lead from the front.
Yeah.
Leaders, we lead from the front. In the fellowship of Jesus Christ, we lead from the front. It's important that we lead from the front. So I ain't going to tell you, hey, let's be here, and then not. I'm not going to say, hey, you need to give me a heads up if you're running behind, and then not. I'm not going to say, hey, you're important to me, but not come and pick you up if I can help it. See what I'm saying? It's different, right? So I want to supervise my team, but then I want to refine my plan. Some people never refine their plan, and they fail. You think what you put on paper is perfect, but it's paper. It's not real world. And so, if at the end of day 1 with your 5-man team, y'all out there knocking on doors, and you hit 180 of your 200, and you come back, and you're like, that is unacceptable. You are the reason why we didn't get those last 20 doors.
Oh.
If this ever happens again, guess what?
It ain't.
Oh, it ain't coming back.
Exactly. Exactly. See, y'all just responded, and y'all in the ministry class.
Okay.
No love, no grace, no forgiveness. No, I'm gonna get better. Look, y'all are like,
Now you come like that.
right? Exactly.
There's a way,
Exactly.
yeah.
So you have, but you come like that when you think your plan is perfect, and you need to know that for all the time that you put into the plan, and all the time that you put into practice, it's not perfect. So you have to be willing to refine your plan. One of the key assessors of whether a person is going to be a good fit for the Army Special Forces program is whether or not they can refine their plan. And so they do these challenges where they will have you do like long walks with like weird equipment. So you have like a telephone pole and like 2 tires and like 5 ropes, and you have 10 guys, and y'all gotta walk like 8 miles off-range terrain. And the telephone pole, like, you know, telephone pole's like 18, 25 feet. And these like 2 big old rubber Jeep tires. And so what you have to do is rotate your guys through over the course of 8 miles, on and off the pole, into various positions and stuff. And so you have to build your plan, including your rest breaks and how often you're going to change. But you can actually refine your plan, because it's not like we're just walking like this. You're also carrying a 75-pound bag on your back, and you got a weapon. So you got to have a scout team up advance, make sure the enemy doesn't get you. And then you got the guys who are on the pole, and then you got the leader who's there, part rotating in. And so the good leaders know that as their guys get more tired, you have to have shorter rest breaks so that you can maintain. You're not carrying this longer distances. But the ones who won't refine their plan, they just be like, hey, you got to keep going, you got to keep going, you got to keep going, just like this. And then when people are falling off, then that's an assessment, right? It's a character flaw. So we assess people. But it's the same thing. Leaders can have character flaws too. If you're not willing to refine your plan, then when your plan isn't getting the results that you want, people will quit. Because why would I keep banging my head up against the wall if nobody's answering? And there's a door right beside me, and I can bang on that, but you're like, no, we're going to bang on the wall.
Right.
Well, I'm telling you that the wall's not working. We should bang on the door. And you're like, well, I want you to bang on the wall. Did you see what my plan said? You know what? I'm gonna get in my car. I'm gonna take all the people who want to bang on doors with me. And y'all wall bangers. They say,
Bang wall. Yeah.
So, don't do it. Okay. Any questions about the team leading procedures? All right, any questions about team leading, team building? Any questions about AARs? Okay, let's talk about ethics right quick. Let's go to ethics. Do I have an application of ethics right now?
Yeah.
We rolling today, y'all. We rolling. Y'all like hands. Okay, what are ethics? What are ethics? What are ethics? What are
Are you asking?
Yes.
Oh.
What do you think of? What comes to mind when you think of the word ethic? Leadership, ethics. What do you think? Ethics versus morals. Okay, here we go. Ethics definition: moral principles that govern a person's behavior or conduct of an activity. Moral principles that govern a person's behavior or the conduct of an activity. So in theory, we're saying what? That an ethic is what's going to make me do what I do. And why is this important? We're talking about being a team leader. We're talking about being a leader. We're talking about being in ministry. We're talking about being ordained ministers. What do people in power in the church often do that? Well, not often, but the news makes it seem like it's often. People
What
in
was the
power.
definition again?
Moral principles that govern a person's behavior or the conducting of an activity. Moral principles that govern a person's behavior or the conducting of an activity. You actually have a handout for that, that'd be good.
I'm sorry?
The ethics, there's a handout for that.
Right here.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Alright.
What was the question now?
What do people think about pastors in church
Your
doing
crooks.
a lot?
Of course, right.
So what would that be? Like they don't have no ethics, right?
Yeah.
They don't have a good moral. So you may have somebody from 30013 comes in, right? You all are harvesting. But what do they still have in their mind?
But they crook.
That crooks. And what might they think of you?
I'm a crook.
Right.
I'm working for the crook.
No, that's real.
Right.
I did it.
Because you've been associated with that person.
Right,
They gonna feel that you
exactly.
like that person.
Exactly. So it's important that we not be like that person. How do we do that? By our morals. What are morals?
That's the thing, that's something we believe in being a good, good character, good reputation.
Yep.
Just our whole persona about ourselves.
A person's standard of behavior or beliefs. A person's standard of behavior or beliefs. A person's standards of behavior or beliefs concerning what is and is not acceptable for them to do. A person's standards of behavior or beliefs concerning what is and is not acceptable for them to do. And so consequently, my ethics are derived from my morals. So what I believe is acceptable for me to do or to not do will then determine what's ethical in my actions and activities. Does that make sense? Everybody with that? So if your morals aren't in alignment with Christ, and here's the more important thing, right? So let's say your morals and your ethics are good, but what if you got somebody who's still in the process? Because we're all still in the process, but we are at various points along the process, right? Like I'm a little bit closer to Christ every single day, but if you just got saved, you're a little bit further away, right? You're a little bit closer to the devil in that lifestyle you used to have. So when it comes, you say, hey, let's go out and minister to somebody, and you're used to getting people. I had a guy, he was a recruiter. His pastor would be like, hey, come go door to door with me. And so he'd go door to door with the guy, and the pastor's like, hey, let's get to know him, we'll build rapport, and then we're going to talk about Jesus here in the house. And the recruiter, you know what we recruiters do, we trying to get you to the office. So he going in there like, hey, check it out, you need to come to my church. This is why, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. There's nothing wrong with his approach, but his approach was from his way. So he was less concerned with, let me help you right now in the moment, and more concerned with, let me get you to church. And his whole reasoning was, well, if you get them to church, they get all the help they need. And the pastor's like, well, let's help them where they are. Right? So since it's the pastor's vision, he has to walk that person from where they are to where he wants them to be. So in the same way, because of our ethics and morals, when we're morally sound, firmly rooted in Christ, that's what we're doing. This is the observance part of the ordination program. So we do classes and stuff here, but we are watching you to see what your morals are. How you handle the crises of life, how you handle the situation, how you handle the pressure, how you handle the frustration. Because we need to know that you're solid enough that ethically we can trust you with people. And so then when we trust you with a team, we trust you with some new people, we trust you with some unsaved people, we trust you with some people who could just come to the church, that you won't take advantage of them. Right? That you won't begin teaching some kind of crazy nonsense.
Right.
That you won't start a mini cult or lead to a leader split. Right? That's the kind of stuff we don't want. So we observe this before we ordain, so that the process leads to your growth and the sustainment of the ministry. Because, in addition, number question 3, what do people think about church leaders' ethics and morals? That they don't have any. That's it. And again, not everybody, but I heard a guy say the other day, do you know why preachers ha so much when they preach? He's like, no, they ha. He's like, the reason they do that, this is what he says, is because the Bible is a dusty, dead book and they're trying to breathe life into it.
Oh. No, see, I had things when I be sitting in church and the pastor would get up, you get doing that, I would leave. It drove me crazy. I couldn't get nothing because I'm too busy.
Right. And
like,
he says it's because they're trying to breathe life into a dead, dusty old book.
That's
so people have these thought processes. It's not unexpected. You should not be surprised when they say that kind of stuff like that. But you should be aware. And you should be aware of the person who comes in, who all their life they heard that God has touched them and they're saved, but they're still like the touch and go with the leadership. And then you come down, and this is why I say, don't be like, well, pastor's vision for us is. Be like, so this is our vision and how we fit into what's going on in the church. Does that make sense?
Right, yes,
Right?
yes.
And then when they have somebody, they need to have somebody to talk to, they'll come to you and talk one-on-one and say things that they would never say to pastor.
Right.
And because you and pastor is in sync, you can articulate on his behalf vision, common of the church, and where you're going, which then provides assurance the same message is coming down,
Wow.
and that pastor can be trusted. So even though they were taught all that other stuff, they can trust pastor, which not only means they can trust pastor, it really means they can trust who?
You.
No.
God. God.
Because pastor is the ultimate representative of God, right?
That's right.
On earth. And so when people don't trust their pastor, who do they not trust then?
God.
Right. They say, I don't want God because there was this pastor once upon a time who did. Right.
Me, I'm telling you.
So it's not like there's a separation between God and the pastor in most people's eyes.
That's true.
And so for us as ministers, it's super important that we be ethically and morally straight so that when we come and articulate on behalf of the ministry, we're actually articulating on behalf of God. And the people then, instead of falling away from God because of something that happened in the ministry, draw closer to God because of what's going on. Everybody see?
Yeah.
So ethics and morals are pretty important for us. What can we do about it? We can be what we're supposed to. We can be more like Christ every day. We can walk according to his principles and according to his rules. Okay. Questions on that? It's 11:28. 11:35, be back, seated. Be prepared for your vignettes.
Vignettes. Challenge time.
Okay. Jesus. Ain't got no vignette in there, do I? I don't even know what it is.
No. Not no paper on it.
Look, I know, right? I'm like,
That's
okay.
not even yet.
Okay. You got your thing, your puncher? Oh,
No.
Oh, okay. I found me one at the Goodwill for 20 cents.
There you go.
I sure did.
You know,
I got it
that's
Goodwill,
all right
girl.
right there.
I got it for 20 cents.
That's all right.
Which Goodwill you go to?
The one right here on 138.
Oh, 138, okay.
I want to go to the one in Buckhead. I can't get nobody to take me to the one in Buckhead.
We'll go one day.
I'm
Let me
taking
know.
me a truck.
Oh, well,
You went up there, did you like it?
I'm never in the bucket. Even the
My
one,
son.
even the one up to 124 is better than, not better, but you know, has more than
Yes.
this.
And I passed one on 124 and ain't been in there.
Yeah, that one has a lot. It's nicer, it's cleaner.
See, I love when I go to visit my son in South Carolina. Girl, I go straight to the Goodwill. He said, "Why you go every day?" Because it's just so
It's a
fun.
different
You
stuff
like
every
to
day.
do,
I
yeah.
brought my kids, my grandkids, the lamps to go on the side of the bed for $2. I was like,
Yeah.
man, they gorgeous too.
Why am I not
That's
getting
all
it?
right. Mm.
D, G,
I told her that I was gonna be in church this morning. Don't call me till after 12. My son texted me talking about, oh, I forgot. I was like, well, don't do nothing. Don't hit my phone because I think it's an emergency.
Everybody still good? And it's winning.
just before the title page, the beginning of the chapter. Short descriptive literary skit. None of that skits.
Say what?
Skits, a skit, a vignette, a skit.
Yes, it's very similar. Yes. We do a lot of vignettes in the Army when it comes to like our sexual harassment training and stuff. I still love to do those.
It's good. Repetition is the essence of learning.
This is very true. You gotta, like I said, you gotta give people in different formats. Make them really think about it, work through it.
What happens when? What
Right.
happens if?
Right. When I was at the board, one of the questions the guy was like, there's a scenario, he's like, you get a call from your soldier at 2 a.m. in the morning. It's like, hey, I'm drunk, can you come get me? What do you do? Like, yeah, I'll go get him. Like, all right, address turns out to be his house. Get there, intoxicated, and him and his wife are arguing. Okay. I'm like, well, I'll take him outside. He's like, when you walk in the door, you see his wife over there holding the ice pack to her face. What do you do? So now I'm gonna order him to get out the house. And then you look over in the corner and there's this kid boy crying. What do you do? Who do you call? Offos or Orphos? Both. He just kept building the question, like right as I answer, you just throw something out there, throw something out there, let's go. Ready?
They made it easy for us. Back in the day, you could make a decision if there was domestic violence, whether to leave them or not. And they changed the law. If anyone has a bruise,
Yep. Somebody gotta go.
gotta go.
Yep. I gotta go.
Sort it out, let the judge sort it out.
Mhm. Yep, yep. All right. Get the draw from the hat first. You know always first.
Oh, man.
I feel like it.
You feel like you're always first? All right, don't open it yet.
Okay.
Here you go.
My nails too long.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
Y'all be so extra, like the paper changes. The paper changes. You know, no matter what. Okay, now before we go to our vignettes, let's go ahead and do our peer reviews. Let's go ahead and pull out your peer evals. Peer evals, peer evals, peer evals,
Okay.
peer evals.
Oh, okay.
I handed those out first. Yep, your peer evals. All right, 1 to 3. You gotta rate each person. You cannot rate yourself. So for example, Sister Shayla, you won't have anything in the block by your name, and then you'll put a 1, a 2, or a 3 by Sister Taylor's name, Dr. Cook's name, or Sister Yolanda's name. These are the person who, in the event that you cannot be there to do ministry, you would trust most to be like, hey, here's my stuff, my material, and trust that they go ahead and handle that. 2, the one who you'd be least likely to trust, or next to less likely, and 3, like, nah, man, I'm gonna make it, even though my leg's broke and I'm in a cast.
Do you have to have a number 3?
You do have to have a number 3. You have to rate somebody 1, 2, and 3. I know, right? Y'all got about 60 seconds to make that happen, and then again,
Jeez.
you know, like 60 seconds, and then I'm gonna ask y'all one more question for you to write at the bottom.
I don't like that number 3.
All right, done it. Now, but as leaders, you must learn to evaluate. And if you can't evaluate your peers, you definitely won't want to evaluate your people.
This is hard.
This is hard, yeah.
You're welcome.
Can I be disobedient and not have a 3?
No, may not. May not.
Oh, boy.
30 seconds. Leadership rules. I said it was easy. Number 1, man, I ain't gonna be able to make it. Got a slight tickle in my throat. Yo, I call this person. They got me. They do a great job. Number 2, okay, I'm not feeling well, but yeah, okay, I'll call this person because number 1's not available. Number 3, oh Lord, I broke my leg. There was an accident and my back hurts. But I'm gonna make it. No, I'm just
So wait, is
it's not
it
that
3, 2, and 1, or 1, 2, and 3?
No, 1 the one you want you to cover you down first, 2 the one next, and 3rd the one least likely to cover you down.
I think that's all.
Alright, and I need those done, alright? Because your time's up. Okay, bottom question, alright? Scale of 1 to 10, alright, rate yourself.
Oh.
How close are you to being ready for ordination? Like 10, hey, Mr. Justin, we good. Go ahead and ordain me right now. 1, bruh, I don't even know why I'm still in this class. I'm showing up. And then somewhere in between. 1 being least likely, least ready. 10 being most ready to be ordained right now. All right, coming around and pick them up. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I need that right now. So hard.
It was.
That was really hard.
Leadership. Leadership is really hard. You write your number? Okay. You just wrote it beside you.
Yeah.
Everybody pay attention, follow directions. Thank you very much. Okay. All right, so that's done. Let's talk about your homework. All right, real quick on the homework. So y'all like, man, why would we just keep putting off this vignette? We'll get to it. We're gonna make sure all the admin stuff is taken care of first. All right, so 3 assignments this month. Back to our research projects. All right, select a ministry here at the church. Apply the 8 TLPs. Create a 90-day plan to accomplish one significant holiday-related task. Ensure you include a calendar, at least one agenda, like you're going to give a meeting, what's going to be your agenda on the meeting, and a clear vision. Well, it should be vision statement, goals, and time for your AAR. All right, so you can't use this example, but let's say it was a choir, because we don't have a choir right now. So upcoming events, Christmas, I'm going to have a 90-day calendar for Christmas. I'm going to get ready for the Christmas program that's coming up at the Fellowship of Jesus Christ. Now this may not be a real thing right now, so you have to make it up, but you can't use choir because I'm using it. So we're going to have practice every Tuesday for the next 90 days. We're going to be preparing last month in December. We're going to have 2 practices a week. Our first meeting is going to be held December, November, October. So September 25th, whatever day that is, I'm going to have a meeting with the choir. That's where I'm going to lay out my agenda. Why are we here at a choir? Why are we here as a choir? What do we hope to accomplish? What is our meeting schedule going to look like? What we're going to be singing in terms of songs. Here's the song selection. Clear vision statement. This choir serves a part of the Fellowship of Jesus Christ ministry towards letting the Holy Spirit lead and creating an atmosphere where worship can occur and believers can grow. Goals for this ministry will include developing our singing skills, developing our interpersonal skills, blah, blah, blah. And then we will meet one final time at the end of December after we do our Christmas program to talk about how well we've been doing it. Key leaders will meet once a week to talk about how well we're doing and going from there. All right, does that make sense? Yeah. All right, so that's due August 18th at 5 p.m. That's a Sunday, by the way. August 26th at 6 p.m., 30-minute sermon on any Old Testament passage of Scripture. All right, Old Testament passage of Scripture. Deliver the sermon on the evening of 26th of August to your classmates. Not, now let me just caveat, not 5 different scriptures. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
No.
Okay. Not 5 different scriptures. Okay? So not like a scripture from here, a scripture from there, a scripture there. I want an Old Testament passage. Alright? Type the entire sermon out and turn it in prior to your sermon. So of course, I don't want the manuscript, but you can turn in the manuscript on the day of the sermon. Okay? So you don't have to turn in the manuscript early. Just turn it in on the day of the sermon. You may utilize any notes except your manuscript during sermon delivery. So you may not take your manuscript up there, but you can have sermon notes. You do have to use the entire 30 minutes. That's supposed to be 35 minutes, not 55.
Okay.
Right? So you may not go over the 55 minutes. No, you may not go over 35 minutes. All right, so please make that adjustment. Because if you start going, and you're like, Brother Justin, just getting warmed up, and be like, well, I'm going to cool you down. All right.
So,
Go ahead, yes, ma'am.
you said we have to type the entire sermon. Is
Yes,
that
I
different
need the
from the
manuscript.
manuscript?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope, it's the manuscript. Type the entire sermon out, it's the manuscript. All right. And then due on that same day is a mock AAR from your research project, okay? So again, you're going to put a time for your AAR. So again, back to my choir example, like I said, we're going to meet one final time, but we're also going to do like weekly meetings with my key leaders. All right, so you're going to actually record yourself doing a mock AAR. It doesn't have to be the first one, it doesn't have to be the last one, it can just be one like halfway through. So maybe like 30 days into your 90-day plan, and do an AAR to see where you are. If that's the case, how would that look? All right, so you're going to talk about what preparation you would do in advance. So this is where we started, because I had goals, and goals are timely and measurable. So this is where we started, this is our baseline, and in the last 30 days, this is where we've accomplished. So what I wanted to do with CSB at this point, what actually happened is this is where we are right now, right? What we were supposed to do, we were supposed to have 4 meetings. What we've actually done is only have 2, right? So what are some improves, what are some sustains? So I want to do that. Demonstrate your prayer advance, conduct the AR, and set your team up for success. All right, and then I'm going to actually do a demonstration video for you all. I'll record that and then send it to you so you'll be able to see that before you do it. It won't be today, but it'll be like in the next week or so. That's what's meant by demonstration video. All right, and then of course continue to do your weekly phone calls. Any questions on the homework for this month? Okay.
This is like
I'll
a
be
ministry,
calling.
a ministry that's already in progress, or you got
Yes,
to
ma'am.
create one?
And one that's already in progress. Yep. Okay, let's do it.
Why can't we create them?
Because I want you to. Fellowship of Jesus Christ ministers. Y'all need to know y'all church. And make sure they're well written because people gonna read these. Y'all gonna swap them around with each other. And of course the leadership team is gonna read them as well. They're gonna see what y'all have to say about their church. How you would do it if you was in charge of the ministry. That's the point. Okay, let's go ahead and unfold our papers. It's vignette time. Ooh, y'all got less time than y'all going to have. All right, we're going to have 10 minutes. 10 minutes. All right. For you to go ahead and read through your vignette and follow the instructions on it. Clock will begin now. Good luck.
Oh, Lord Jesus. Okay. Paper.
That's good news, more?
No, no. Working in the yard, allergies.
Gotcha. Seven minutes remaining. 5 minutes remaining. Three minutes. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and put your pens down. All right. Start with you, Sister Shayla. Go ahead and stand up and read to everybody your vignette and then your response.
Okay. You are the pastor of a church that just fired their previous pastor 3 months ago due to allegations sustained of sexual misconduct and embezzlement. Attendance is down over 50%, and the church board has brought you in to heal the church and guide it forward. The church's largest size in the past 5 years is over 1,000 members, but now only about 300 show up on Sunday. Write your 90-day goals for fixing this problem using the 3 C's for your upcoming presentation to the board.
Yep. All right, what you got?
All right. I'm gonna take my shoe off. Okay. All right. First, I will let them know that I had came here to help and to heal. Just because the things that happened in the past impacted a lot of people, it has broken, torn, and ripped up this congregation. But we all know that we cannot put our trust in man. They will fall or fail every time. God is the answer, and we want our church to get back to God, so He can start healing these wounds and letting others know that the old pastor fell by the wayside, but God still will forgive him, just like we all will have to. If we want God to forgive us for our sins, let's take the time out and pray for him and the others that were truly hurt by his actions. I know you all were, but some more than others. Let's start fasting for this healing process every Tuesday and Thursday until there's a release in the spirit, because God can and always will handle it. Let's start trusting and believing again. We can do this together with the help of our Father. Was that anything right?
Okay.
That was good. That was good to me. Okay.
All right, so just real quick feedback. All right, good job. All right, first being the first one and then being under the gun. You said in your thing that every man will fail. I would have been careful about saying that, just because if you're taking over and then you're saying basically, hey, I'm gonna fail too.
Oh yeah. okay.
Just something to think about. And then in terms of goals, what we're looking for is like how you're gonna move the church. So you kind of did that with like, hey, every Tuesday and Thursday we're gonna fast, right? And then like, what are some other things that you could have done? So again, in the first 90 days, what are we looking to do? Like specific things that you want to do. We're gonna get our attendance increase back, right? We're gonna go and I'm gonna be visiting the people who were once a part of the ministry and sharing with them the new leadership's vision. Maybe we're gonna have a dinner for the community and bring some people in. We're gonna work on our outreach program. We're gonna be more transparent about our financial numbers. We're gonna put a budget report out there in the next 30 days so everybody can see where we have right now, where we have going forward. I wanna have full oversight, a committee or something like that, potentially to review. So all those are things that you want to think about in the first 90 days. And it's gonna show people you're different in terms of leadership from everybody else.
Wow.
That makes sense?
Okay.
Okay. All right. Ms. Taylor.
Oh, Lord, let me
Mrs.
go.
Taylor, let's go. You first. You next.
Okay.
Wow, now, so hey, I would pick up now, Jesus. So don't y'all laugh at me, please. It says, your church outreach team has just completed a 90-day canned food drive to help feed the homeless in your community. Your church has 200 members and was responsible for contributing over 1,000 cans, and your community chipped in another 500. Your team, at its core, as a group of adults and 4 teams, conduct a AAR on paper.
She laughed like I did.
I laughed through this and I'm like, okay, Lord, now I ain't never been good in math.
Okay. You didn't have to do any math for that.
Okay. But see, I was thinking about the little mathematical part of it.
Okay.
But I was just saying, when I was thinking about, like with the drive,
Right.
I was saying, okay, now I got my 6 groups of people.
Right.
So I put it out, we were responsible for 1,000 cans being distributed in the community.
Okay, so I think you read it wrong.
And I see, I
Okay.
told you I'm always
Yeah.
doing something supposed to
So-
do right. I told you.
So the AER is what happens after. So remember, it says
Okay.
that you just completed
Okay,
a 90-day food drive
okay.
where you collected
1,000 cans,
as
right.
a church
I
and
got
500
1,000 cans.
and 500 cans.
Right,
So conducted AER.
okay.
That's all you're supposed to do.
Oh, okay.
So you remember what the AER is? The 4 questions? What were we supposed to do? What did we do? How do we want to sustain it? And how can we improve it?
Right.
So all you're supposed to do is just look at that
Okay.
and say, okay, so we collected 1,500 cans in the last
Right.
90 days.
1,500
All
cans.
right,
I
what were
got
we
that,
supposed
okay.
to do? You know, what did we do?
Okay,
And then how do we improve it and how do we,
okay.
all right, so that's all we were really looking for there.
Okay, but I was just thinking more with these numbers and
Yep.
stuff, but like
Yep.
you said, but I didn't even have to see, I didn't have to
No,
worry about the
no
numbers.
math,
I'm
yeah.
always exaggerating with everything when I saw those numbers out there.
Yep, yep.
But-
It's just telling you how much you did so
Mhm.
that you would know how to do for your AER.
Right.
Does that make sense though?
But yeah, it do make sense, and even after that, with even that, you still had an overflow that you could, continue because you had other people that contributed by,
Right.
100 cans that went along with the program, so you
Right.
still, if I had to do something, I know I would have enough to distribute out with the groups, other people.
But it wasn't about
But it-
distributing. It wasn't for us to distribute it. The
Okay.
vignette's not about us distributing.
Okay,
Yeah, the vignette
that's
is
a
just,
contribution,
just assessing how well you did at
Okay.
collecting.
okay,
Mhm.
well, they collected very well.
Yeah.
Well, I told y'all, I got it all mixed up, I'm sorry.
It's okay, you
I'm
good.
sorry.
It's good. Okay.
I got it mixed up, so y'all forgive me.
All right, you forgive me. Go ahead, Sister Yolanda, you next.
I knew it. All right, my vignette. As you are new to the church and have been brought on in the role as the leader on the new Church Street Evangelism Ministry. Your team consists of 5 part-time employees and 15 volunteers initially. The pastor tells you you will be given 3 minutes to introduce yourself and your new ministry and solicit volunteers and support on Sunday morning during the main service. You will have your first team meeting after service for all who are interested. Write a vision statement for your ministry and your main points for your presentation to the church. Did not have enough time to think that through.
You have enough time to think what the.
My vision statement, that's a big deal.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
I'm not snapping like you.
It's outreach. Okay, go ahead.
So I ended up with, we will take the word to the street and with the fruit of the spirits leading us. That is all I got for my vision statement.
Okay.
And my main points. Why? We are all called to be disciples and do more. What? We are all called to be disciples and do more than get the word in church. It is now time to share the word outside. How will we do it? We will go out in teams of at least 2 people, no more than 4, depending on the neighborhood. And we will have literature with the church info to leave in the community. And where we will start in the surrounding neighborhoods within 5 miles of the church.
Okay. All right. Cool. So just some feedback on that. Good on that, on answering the how, and the where, and the why. The scripture that you would always use, right, for outreach. What does Jesus say? What's the Great Commission? Matthew. Anybody?
Get the one?
25, 24. Is it 25, 24? Matthew, the last chapter in Matthew, the last 2 verses. Great Commission. Go ye into all the world, Judea and Samaria, right? Preaching the gospel to all the people. And lo, I'm with you always to the end. No? All
Let me
right.
find it right quick.
Let me go and write that down for your oral quiz. That's going to be there. Great Commission. It's going to be an oral question. Just go ahead and memorize it. Matthew, last chapter, last verses. I think it's like 25 and 48. No, 28, 25. All right, so you need to know the Great Commission. If you know the Great Commission, then all outreach is an extension of the Great Commission. And so consequently, immediately, vision statement, right there, boom. Hey, Jesus commanded us to go out to all the world. All right, and so none of y'all are missionaries, but you all are commanded. We have a community right here around us. We're gonna go out there and we're gonna talk to them. All right. If you only have 3 minutes to pitch it to the church, I would harp on that. Just paint the picture. Jesus ascending into heaven. His final words. Everybody knows the final words, the most important words. Says, go to all and share the gospel. And so this afternoon, we're going to have a meeting. We're going to talk about anybody who's interested. Me and my team, 20 of us, are going to be out here knocking on doors, sharing the gospel, because the labor is plentiful and the harvest is plentiful and the laborers are few. And I need you to be a laborer. If you're interested in getting more information, looking at doing something like twice a month, blah, 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 blah. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Dr. Cook, you off?
It's Matthew 28, 16 through 20.
28.
Okay. It's October 1st, and you have been tasked with reviving the youth ministry. Your church is an urban community surrounded by 4 neighborhoods, but only about 5% of the youth attend the church. Create a 30-day plan to increase your church youth ministry attendance. Your team consists of 6 adult volunteers who rotate teaching duties throughout the week and month. The church has approximately 200 members, of which 150 are over the age of 50 and have no kids. So what I would propose, 30 days to do this, is October 1st. I would get some adult volunteers and rotate. I would get the adult volunteers to come with me to the youth ministry night. Usually have people. This is like.
It's your plan.
Okay. Okay, we're going to the youth ministry night, and we're going to sit with the kids and see what they would like during the harvest party. We're going to have a harvest party instead of going trick-or-treating. Costumes, food, games, prizes, and the word will be given. And, see what it is they want. And also, the volunteering adults will take a child. The adult will be the captain, and we will make one of the children co-captains so that they participate in the creation of this. And they would go out to those 4 neighborhoods with flyers advertising this harvest party, as well as, they're on social media, so we'll have a flyer for them to give out to their friends and families. And then we have to announce to the congregation that we need volunteers to man the games, serve the food, which will probably be the kitchen ministry, serve as monitors and to make sure everything stays safe, which would be the security ministry. And we'll also ask for the congregation for the donation of candy to give out at this place. And at the harvest night, which would not be on, depending on when October 31st falls, but it would probably be that Friday night, the same night that they have youth night. They would come in their costumes, everybody come at a certain time, they would sit, they would hear the word, they would eat, then they could do the games. And they said, get them to try to, give them, come back on Sunday, and there's more to learn. And we'll see how many come back.
Okay. All right, good stuff. Just feedback on it. The only thing I would say is you would want to have dates. So like, first Friday is going to be youth night. Then we're going to be a youth night to go ahead and do our youth ministry night check-in instead of a volunteer adult child. Then the following Sunday, we're going to have a can out there in front of the church for people to start bringing candy and a volunteer sheet. And then the following week, we're going to stand up there and make an announcement and finalize signatures, building a booth, game, stuff like that. And then the next week, we're going to be flooding the whole city with our flyers and stuff like that in the community. Okay? All right, so good job. Okay, so obviously, these were taxing, right? And I tried to make them taxing on purpose, but not like overwhelming. Really, because at the end of the day, we want to put to use what we just learned and the whole thought process. So what you'll see as you begin to walk in this sphere of like consistently thinking about how I can develop, how I can lead, how I can grow. If you do that with yourself personally first, then you will always be in that mindset. So I'm always intaking data, and then I'm always reassessing, readjusting, refining my plan. Okay? Like all of us have lives, and you take in data, and then you adjust your life accordingly. Oh, it's gonna rain today. 50% chance of rain today. What do? Bring an umbrella, right? I took in data, I readjusted my life plan accordingly. I probably wasn't gonna bring an umbrella, but I checked the weather forecast first and foremost before I left. And maybe once upon a time you weren't to check the weather forecast, but then you got caught in rain for 3 days in a row. So guess what you started doing? Checking data, right? So you assess and refine. So we do it all naturally. I'm trying to get you to do it intentionally. I'm trying to lead your life intentionally so that you can lead your teams intentionally. So when you get a phone call and somebody's like, hey, this is going to be happening at this day, you get data in, you say, hey, the ministry can meet you here to do that, right? Opportunity, you're there, you're able to respond to it. Or the same way somebody's like, hey, phone call, hey, you got free food over here at this place, what do? Oh, I can make that on my route home. Call your family, hey, who needs some food, right? And data in, readjustment. Same thing in ministry. Data in, readjustment. Now, what do I not do? It's guided by my ethics and my morals, right? But I'm constantly trying to build my team. I'm constantly trying to do it. So I'm reading, right? Reading. Constantly trying to get information in. Change my thought process. Not just reading this, I got 3 other books that I'm reading, right? Constantly trying to get data in so I can what? Build my team. So I can make it better. So I can preach better sermons, right? So do I have time to listen to other nonsense? No, I don't. Why? I gotta preach. I gotta teach. I need to be on top of my game, right? I gotta get stuff in so I can give what? To you all, right? Because if I'm pouring out to you, eventually I'm gonna run out unless I'm pulling stuff in. So it's kind of be you too, because you're gonna be in front of your team, and you're gonna be trying to plan and trying to think ahead, and trying to have a contingency plan, and trying to do, and you'll run out of all the stuff because you didn't stop to feed yourself so that you can keep leading. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay? So we want to make sure that we're doing that. It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. It's not something you can just turn on. It's not a hat you can wear. Okay? I can wear the army hat all day. See, I got a beard right now. Can't wear the army hat in my beard.
Hello.
Right?
Okay.
But, like, I'll shave that off, and I have to be on, and Monday, here we go. Back to work.
Right.
But a leader, I'm a leader all the time. Y'all gotta be the same. That make sense to everybody?
Yes.
Okay. Y'all did great today. Hope you got a lot. Hope you're excited about the projects that we're going to write. Looking forward to your sermons. I will be in Kentucky for the next 19 days starting tomorrow. So I'll be going on, I'm leaving tomorrow morning, and I'll be back on the 23rd. I'm still available via phone, text, email. So if you got any questions or issues about anything, pastors will be available as well to take y'all papers on the 18th. But you also please email them, because I want to look at them as well. And then I'll be back on the 26th for my sermons, and we'll get it in. Okay. Any prayer requests?
I guess you can't do this.
Turn it off. All right. Yeah, I can do it right quick.
Do you want to put that on there?
Yes.
No, not that.
The
Our
sermon.
sermons that y'all wasn't at.
Well, I did.